All right, today I want to talk to you real quick about sort of the power of referrals. Now we've all heard about referrals, but I want to talk to you a little bit about sort of the process and some mindset around it because there's some things that people do well when it comes to referrals and things that probably don't do so well. And there's some simple things, some really powerful things that you can do to build those referrals and consistently get referrals. Now, one of the things that I see all the time is people just sort of naturally feel like, well, I get good referrals. People refer me business and they kind of wait for it to happen. And we know referrals are like our lifeblood of most of our businesses. We get a referral, we're in good shape. Now, one of the challenges that I see people do is when they get that referral, they don't give them the full show. So they almost take it for granted that this is, referral. So they're going to sign up. So that's the first warning. We're not going to talk about that too much. But what I do want to talk about, first of all, before I get started, I do have to give a shout out to a really good friend of mine, wonderful business associate, network extraordinaire, Philip Bissett Covignero, financial planner extraordinaire here in Victoria where I live. He's president of the Young Entrepreneur Society. He's the guy that, I've referred all my family to for doing their finances. I guess there you go. There's a referral for him. That's not why I'm doing it. I just want to give a shout out because he gave me a great referral yesterday. I want to kind of share that process, that story, and how that works, sort of some of the rules, not the rules, but some of the stuff around that. So the way it worked is we talked a little bit before about crafting your why and getting people to really understand why you do business the way you do business. And if you don't have people in your network or your referral network really clearly understand your why you do business, your personal brand, why you're different, they're just going to be out there maybe referring, kind of referring, maybe lumping you into the same category as everybody else, and then you run the risk of just being just another, maybe for me, a coach, consultant, trainer, etc., or another telecom provider, right? Or another realtor, another finance planner, all these kinds of things. What you want to stand out in your network, in your referral network, is, hey, this person's different. Right? Sometimes I get, and I don't like this, but people will say, hey, I want to introduce you to Joe. He's the guru in sales. I don't call myself a guru. I'm just some dude. But if somebody says that, that's a pretty powerful referral. So let me just sort of unpack this for a second. I'll tell you the story. So yesterday, Phil came in. We sat down. We had a little coffee, and we were chatting. He said, hey, I got this client that is looking at some sales, and they're not quite sure what they want to do. There's a big client. They're trying to grow that business. And so I said, well, tell me. He said, yeah, I've been telling them about what you do in the sales coaching side. And I said, oh, very cool. Thank you. That's nice. He said, and I told him, you're really all about the psychology and the neuroscience and the really getting into that stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's good. And so they had kind of gone back and forth. He said the client was, make sure that it wasn't about like manipulation or that kind of stuff. And I said, oh, okay. I said, maybe we can look at it a little bit differently when you're talking to people. What I really, that's part of what I talk about. I talk a lot about the neuroscience and the mindset and the psychology. But what I am is I call it the get shit done kind of coach. Is let's find out where the customers are. Let's simplify sales. Let's make it more fun. Let's make people when they're selling to just go, like that's way easier. That feels better. We can increase our pricing. We can do more value-based selling. There's all sorts of things we can do. Yeah, we're going to do all the complex stuff, but ultimately what I do is help people simplify, make their selling more fun, and give them the ability to say, hey, you know what? We can do more. And no matter what level they're at, whether they're brand new at selling or like 10, 20 years experience, they can succeed and they can make this much easier than they're making it. He goes, hey, that makes a lot of sense. He's like, really? I told him a couple of results. He was great. An hour later, I get a phone call. He goes, hey man, I've got this client. He wants to meet with you. I told him what you said, and he thinks that's exactly what he needs. So yeah, I went, drove down, met him at the restaurant. We chatted. It was like almost like maybe an hour. Had a whiskey, handshake deal. Now we have a new client, and everybody feels good about this process. The key to all this is making sure that if you have people talking about you and your business, that you're creating what's called an empowered referral network. And this is up to you to drive. So where you're out networking, where you're going and talking to people, make sure that people go, I get it. That's cool. What you're doing makes sense. You are different. So that's why I say your why is, why are you choosing to do business this way? Why are you different? Why do you care? What do you believe in? And so when people go, that's different than what I've heard. That's going to prime them psychologically when they're out talking to people, say, hey, you need to meet this person. Because you think about in construction, everybody needs a guy. Somebody says, do you have a plumber? Say, hey, I got a guy. Right? I used to be in education. People would say, hey, I need help looking at careers. They say, oh, I know a guy. You got to talk to Joe. I need help with sales. Joe's the guy, right? You need financial planning. Phil's the guy. So all of these things are what you need to build into your referral network without asking for referrals. Just saying, hey, if you're going to introduce me to anybody, this is how I would like you to introduce me. I hope that makes sense. This is all about creating, like I said, that empowered referral network so that when people are talking about you, and guarantee they will talk about you if you're interesting. If you, it also part of that whole thing about having a guy or having a gal, not saying it's just the way we say it. And like, you're the real estate chick or you're the, your insurance gal, whatever your thing is, you're the guy or the gal. When we have a guy, here's the real major tip. If you've got a guy and you go out and somebody says, hey, I have this problem, and you are the source of the solution to that problem because you know somebody that's like the best at helping them solve that, you look awesome. So that's why Phil is amazing. What he does is he is really a very like advanced network master, because he's not about what can you do for me or what can I do for you. He thinks, who can I connect you with? He's got people in every industry that he can connect you with that can help you solve problems. So he's known as a connector. He's known as an influencer. And if you start doing that, that gives you tons of social capital. So if you are talented in your business, and you meet other connectors, other people doing stuff, and they believe in what you believe, they're going to go talk to you because it also makes them look good because they know this magical creature, which is you. So that's what I'm hoping this makes sense to you, is if you build this empowered referral network, everything becomes much easier. Now you use all of that in conjunction with, of course, your outbound and your inbound and all the processes that we talk about. But building your referral network is a really, really powerful tool. Go out into Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups and be somebody who helps. Be somebody who gives it, shares resources and insights and tips and techniques so that they go, hey, this person's interesting. This person's unique. This person actually offers something and value to my life. And that's how you're going to build referrals really quickly. So I hope that helps. That's just me rambling, but I just want to say thanks again to Phil. That was really cool. It was just sort of one of those things. I'm like, yeah, that happens. And the more you build this, the faster it can happen and the easier it becomes, because you get to go into the real conversations much quicker when you start building those referrals. So hope that helps. Have an awesome weekend. Hey, this is Joe Girard with Change Grow Achieve. Thanks for checking this out. Remember to subscribe and check out some of the other videos and resources we have. As a sales coach, I spend a lot of my time just helping people be less weird and more human with their customers. If we can help you and your high-performing team, reach out to us, let us know, and let's connect soon.